Backstage buzz, we prep for the sound. The curtain falls and the crowd's all round. The night's still young and the stage is set. Our voice is ready, no time for regret. Wisdom and laughter in a verbal embrace. Tonight we're ruling this electric space. What a dream when it's time for us. Diving deep in after-show debates. Echoed loud with hot takes so contentious. Hearts race on, our pulse relentless. Yeah, we're alive with every mic. Yeah, like the stars and like the night. Yeah.
What up, Naysayer Nation? We are back with the Aftershow Podcast on the new, new time. I didn't check the final poll, but I'm assuming the consensus is Sunday it is.
Yeah, it won.
Sunday for the W.
Yeah, it was like 31-25. It was close. Closer than I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, close does not cut it.
No.
You either win or you lose. Second place is first loser.
We have breaking news.
I doubt it.
Borderlands is going to premium video on demand August 30th.
That fast?
Yup.
Jesus Christ.
So that's unfortunate.
I mean, we saw that coming.
Yeah,
that movie made absolutely zero money, so it's only a matter of time. But we're gonna talk about some stuff that did make money. Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, crossed the $1 billion mark. Shockingly,
to the shock of no one.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna do a little preview of Gamescom. Open Night Live kicks off on Tuesday. Very excited. Got a lot of cool stuff coming for that. And we got to talk about this Black Myth Wukong controversy because it's all over the internets right now.
I've seen a little bit of it, but I don't know. I haven't seen.
I got the full story, so we're gonna break it down. We're gonna react to some stuff, and we're gonna get into it. In fact, we're gonna kick that off. But first, what's up, Chad? We got who's here? We got Old Man Eastwood first. Welcome. What's up, Travis? Travis, appreciate you. I'm sure we'll be getting plenty of hot takes from you. Boy. Savage, No Cap, Marvel. Appreciate everyone joining us on the Lord's Day of Rest. We appreciate it very much. How was your weekend, Jay? I know you also were out. I saw some of your cosplay photos that you shared. Jay was cosplaying as a Gwenpool while he was at the convention getting his stuff signed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I went to Terrificon in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Casino.
And was it terrific?
It was pretty good. This is a dream come true right here, all right? That is Daphne Zuniga. She was Princess Vespa in Spaceballs, my favorite movie of all time.
It is.
And she was awesome. Friend of the podcast.
Whoa, Stephanie was there?
Yeah, and she says hello.
Hello.
So got to see Stephanie. We had her on the podcast a little while back. She was next to, they had her in like a pretty good spot. She was next to Tom Welling and Colby Smolder.
Holy shit, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Scotty Young, that is my one of my favorite artists. Love his style.
We better be getting a selfie of Tom Welling.
No, I already met him. So that is Samoa Joe with myself and my brother Eric. Samoa Joe obviously is King Shark, and in Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, he's also Sweet Tooth in Twisted Metal, like the body. You know, he's the physical actor, and a former AEW World Champion. So yeah, he was actually awesome.
Your brother looks like Kratos.
Yeah, he's got that huge beard. That's my cousin, his wife. That's my brother, Scotty Young. That is the book I had Scotty Young sign. He does that art style. You'll see like all these little
we call it in the anime community, we call that chibi style.
Yeah, they do all these little statues of his art style. Speaking of Gwenpool, I do have his Gwenpool.
Of course.
But yeah, I have a few of them there. So I had him sign that book. I had Samoa Joe sign a King Shark Funko Pop, not the one. Get a cassette of Spaceballs movie? Exactly. When will then be now? I had Jim Lee sign this Wolverine.
Shout out to Jim Lee, the legend himself.
Yeah. That is the logo of Terrificon as a Funko Pop. That Thanos is actually like 15 feet tall. So don't be deceived.
By the short legs.
That is not me. I know it looks like it could be.
Allegedly.
But not me.
No, he's look at that. Well defined.
Look at that fucking cosplay. All right. I know this is not everybody's favorite suit, okay? But like this dude
hat tip
and nailed it, okay?
Absolute hat tip there.
Yeah. A sweet Wolverine. There were lots of people dressed as Deadpool.
I imagine.
We actually had Dr. Doom's throne, also known as Ben Grimm.
That is a really good Ben Grimm.
Yeah. There's Colby Smolder. I sent that to my wife because she loves How I Met Your Mother. This Red Death was absolutely phenomenal. For those of you that don't know, that's Bruce Wayne if he had the Flash's powers. Had a couple of Five Nights at Freddy's that were really good.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
This Deadpool was the best one.
That's elite. That is an elite Deadpool.
Yeah. This guy was dressed as Bumblebee. These are like massive risers. He's like 12 feet tall in that suit. Wow. It's he like actually put it on like right there. It's kind of crazy. Bunch of Star Wars droids.
R2.
And then these are the Funko Pops my brother had signed by Jim Lee. He got Gambit Omega Red and the Aquaman. The Aquaman was one of the actual Jim Lee versions that they put out. So it wasn't like the biggest Comic-Con. Actually, they do a good job with this Comic-Con every year. They've got some good people. Anita Volgred, yeah.
You're right, Travis. You're wrong. Only because I like to be contrarian.
Yeah.
Also, I know that if they announced a Red Hood game, people would be like, "Nobody asked for that. Why is Batman? Why did they make a Batman game? Where's Superman?"
Yeah, that's exactly like verbatim. And
you know how I know? Because we literally got that. If you wanted a Red Hood game, you had Gotham Knights, and from the opening trailer. Because for years I heard, oh man, you know what would really be cool? A Bat Family game. And you know what happened as soon as they revealed it? Well, where's Batman? I'm not Batman.
Accurate. There are only two people I didn't get to meet that I considered and wanted to. One was, speaking of Gotham Knights, Christopher Sean, who is Nightwing in Gotham Knights. But
does he have the cake in real life?
I saw him, but I didn't bother. Like, there was no way I was paying $100 for a signed Funko Pop and a selfie. Like, no way. Not like for him. I guess he's like doing really big things right now as Ultraman in the anime. So I guess
Ultraman is a big deal.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to meet Charlie Cox, but he was only there today. And my brother told me that the line for him was literally like they actually had people going outside of the actual arena,
as it should
be. Like he was the biggest line like I think he'd ever seen. Yeah,
this is exactly true. Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad should have switched.
Yep, 100%. That game was built to be the perfect live service game. So, but anyway, yeah, it was a good show. I wasn't gonna go. I'm a little tight on money, but I also got invited to that Fanatic Fest in New York City.
Right.
And that thing, I could not go to that. I just, there's no way I was driving down to New York City and then driving home. Like I wasn't doing 8 hours of driving in a day. I wasn't staying in a hotel, and that thing was so expensive. I just saw to get just a regular item signed by Peyton Manning was like $400.
Jesus Christ.
If you wanted like a helmet or a jersey, it was like $500. And if you wanted like a game worn, it was like $700.
Oh my God.
And his line was like was huge.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, it's Peyton Manning, and I get it. But like, that's just insane. Like David Ortiz, I've already met him. Fortunately, his was like $350 for an autograph, and I'm like, I'm not as big into autographs. I do think they look cool on the Funko Pops, but at the end of the day, I'm fine with just I like getting pictures of people though, and like just a selfie with David Ortiz was like $100. And I'm like, I mean,
that sounds like a bargain.
I already have one, so it's like whatever. But I just was like, whatever. I'll just whatever happens. But all the wrestlers were sold out. The only people that sold out at this event were the WWE wrestlers. Like nobody else sold out, but there were like 7 or 8 WWE wrestlers that sold out. WWE. And CM Punk was one of them. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going.
WWE making a comeback.
Yeah,
Is it? So I'm glad Jay had a good time. Hopefully the Funko Fusion game makes it rain on your bank account.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the videos didn't take off better.
I mean, I feel like Funko Fusion in general doesn't seem to have that much hype. I feel like that's going to be one of those games where people need to get their hands on it, and it has and it could have some kind of like viral potential. Because for years now it's just been Lego. Like Funko's obviously a big brand, but people collect the Funko Pops. They're and Legos have the gaming. So this is like their first time in there. I haven't really seen that much of it. So I imagine that we're going to get some cool clip if the game is good and seems fun. I think it could definitely potentially pick up some steam. So it'd be nice to get it on the ground floor.
No microtransactions so far. Everything that they're doing is coming out with the game. Does not seem like there's going to be DLC. There are Funko Pops that you can buy that are Funko Fusion branded, and they will have a code for an alternate skin in the game, but nothing else. That's it.
In your face, Travis.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the executives from Funko follows me on Twitter and like interacts with me all the time. And I retweeted his tweet yesterday, and he kind of covered that. Let me see if I have it still.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the podcast.
I'm working. See, here's the problem. They're in the UK. I think he might be in Seattle, but here's what it was. He said the top 2 concerns I've seen around Funko Fusion are: 1 is toys to life, 2 microtransactions the game. LOL, neither are true. You don't need pops to play. And it's a complete and comprehensive game with 60 plus characters unlocked, stock and rock in the box. So that is what they're doing. Now, is it possible the game does well and they decide, okay, we're going to make some DLC now? Sure. I hope that's the case. We should all hope that's the case.
I think this is going to be like a performance-based thing.
Yeah.
Travis admitting that he takes a lot to the face. Good to know. He loves taking it in the face.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, though, the game, and I know we've got other things, but we'll just get this out of the way real quick. The game is a lot of fun. It's more mature than I thought it would be. Oh. Like, there's, I played Jurassic World, and I played Hot Fuzz. And in Hot Fuzz, there's actually, like, they censor it, but, like, it's F***K. Ooh. Like, it's fuck you, grasshopper. And it's, like, literally right there on the screen.
Sounds like my kind of game.
And then another dude gets impaled, and like as you're running around the level, his head with the spike through it is like just hanging from the building. It's like, wow.
I gotta tap into the gameplay because I realized that they have Invincible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just for Invincible, I might tap in.
So here's what I'll say about it. Okay, like it's not reinventing the wheel. It follows the Lego gaming patterns because a lot of the people that made the Lego games came over and made this.
Right.
So it's familiar. It's not like you're not getting like some revolutionary new gameplay style.
Don't want it.
It's a little tougher than I thought it would be. Like the enemies are pretty intense.
Skill issue.
The only thing I don't love that will take getting used to, they had to brand everything. Okay,
Of course.
so in order to get your health back in the Lego games, you just kill enemies, they drop hearts, you get your health back.
Right.
In this game, you have to drink Funko sodas. Okay, so Funko soda is like an actual thing where you buy the soda can or the bottle, and there's a figure inside. So that's an actual thing. They've got these awesome artwork on it and everything. So you have to like actually have it in your inventory, select it, drink it, crush it, drop it. You can pick up the can and throw it in the recycling bin, and it will give you like studs or vinyl is what they call it.
This sounds both cool and annoying potentially.
It's a little annoying because the only time I died in the game, I was like trying to drink like one of the sodas, and I was getting attacked by like 15 dinosaurs at once.
Yeah.
So it was like, but like even when you die, it's kind of cool because you like come back as a ghost and you have to go to the vending machine and buy your life back. So it comes out on September 13th. So we are almost there.
Yeah, we're getting
and it's $50. It's not like a $70 game. I think you will absolutely get your $50 worth out of it. I mean, it's got Masters of the Universe. It's got Umbrella Academy, Jaws.
I actually just finished the final season of Umbrella Academy. Pretty good.
Yeah. It has like so many cool franchises. It's all NBC Universal stuff. Walking Dead. I'm just trying. Nope. There's like a Nope level.
Oh, I do love some Nope.
Yeah, so like there's like a lot of really crazy franchises that you wouldn't expect. A couple of headliners that like, obviously lead the way. Hold on, I got the whole list right here. Battlestar Galactica, Back to the Future, Chucky, The Thing, Five Nights at Freddy. That's not the whole list, but you get the point.
This sounds pretty cool.
There's a lot of really cool stuff in it. They're like, you're gonna get a lot of gameplay out of it. So
yeah, I did tap into that. Speaking of getting a lot of gameplay, we got a pretty busy month for game releases. Coming up next, we have Black Myth Wukong, one of our most highly anticipated games of 2024, and unfortunately, another culture war game. we have another culture war game.
Isn't everything?
Almost every. This was an unexpected one because Black Myth Wukong, I mean, you see, it's pretty straightforward. It's like it's a straight action game. It appeared like a Souls-like. It's starring Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. It's based on the Chinese legend Journey to the West. I mean, so there's obviously no politics. There's no big titty waifus. It's just a pretty straightforward, fun action game, which a lot of people are looking forward to. But somehow it got in to the culture war, and by somehow I mean IGN. So to give you some background on how all this started, before we get into the latest controversies, this whole thing started because IGN writer made a hit piece during their preview of Black Myth Wukong, accusing the studio and the developers of basically hating women, saying they have a culture of homophobia, misogyny, and all this stuff. And the evidence that they provided wasn't from actual people at the studio, but from quotes that they found on social media that were, of course, in Chinese. So they translated it and wrote the article based on that. And then that article got a ton of backlash, not just from the right-wing grifters, but people pointing out that actually these quotes were taken horribly out of context and also poorly translated. And there were times they said the author was straight up lying. Like there was this one narrative people were pushing even now, where they were saying that the devs at Game Science said that that the game was too hard for women. They don't make games for women and stuff. And which is crazy because what the actual quote was that they don't pander towards men or women. They're just trying to make a good game. The context of the quote was that in China there was a problem where game studios would like flood the market with games that either pander one way or another. Like you'd have like games targeted towards men that just had, you know, all the big titty waifus hugging each other, and games targeted towards women would do the same thing, but for husbandos. And they were just basically saying, yeah, we're just trying to make good games. We're not trying to pander to men or women. That's what that actual quote was, and they completely misinterpreted it and made it seem like they were just saying their game wasn't for women. So so naturally that led to some months of backlash and people, you know, rallying behind like Wukong, saying, "Oh, now we got to pre-order because the woke mob is coming after it." This got worse because apparent Chinese journalists had alleged right around the time that IGN piece dropped that Game Science had been extorted. They were saying that some Western game consultancy groups, kind of like your Sweet Baby types, have been trying to get Game Science to give them millions of dollars in order to put, you know, some DEI sensitivity reads into their game, and they said no. So there was a conspiracy theory that came from that the reason why IGN did this hit piece is because the studio had refused to hire any DEI consultancy groups to woke up their game basically. So as retaliation, IGN made this. They're saying IGN made that hit piece. Didn't help that the writer also was kind of connected to Sweet Baby Inc. so it looked bad. There was no direct evidence that, and Game Science didn't comment on it at all. You know, so we don't have any direct evidence that Game Science was approached by any consultancy groups or they were trying to strong on them. But the appearance does look bad immediately in just looking at it in the surface. So then that just was what it was, and now the reviews embargo came out, and the whole thing, when the reviews dropped, was reignited because we had this review. Most reviews have been good, but this review from Screenrant went viral. You'll be able to see why in a second. If you see it, they gave it a 6 out of 10, and under the cons they wrote lacking in inclusivity and diversity. And they went into the in the actual review. They also, you know, went into the accusations made by the IGN article saying the studio, you know, is sexist and the game doesn't have enough female representation and all this other stuff. So obviously, I mean, this is just gold for all the. If you're a grifter, you probably got hard reading this because this is free content, which is annoying because, you know, we hate dealing with these grifters, but
yeah,
I mean, sometimes, you know, they're right. I mean, we know these types of people do exist, and that's how these grifters make their money. It's just annoying that, you know, this is just going to create this whole new news cycle. But fortunately for them, this wasn't the only controversy. Everyone was kind of just running with this as it was, but Black Wukong got into another controversy because apparently, and as a Marvel rival content creator, this will probably give you a flashback. Apparently, they sent this to content creators with their embargo information and their review key, do's and don'ts of what you can and can't say when you're doing your coverage of the game if you're a content creator. And it says it includes obviously do's: enjoy the game; don'ts: don't insult other influencers or players; do not use any offensive language / humor; do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse; do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or the coof; and do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc. So
I literally have no problem with this, if I'm being honest.
I figured company man Jay wouldn't, but a lot of people did have an issue with this being included as part of the review key. Now, from what we can gather, none of the games journalists who did actively engage in politics, among other things, to trash the game were not sent this, but the review keys sent to content creators did have this stuff, which is definitely interesting. So this create a lot of debate. Personally, I don't think this is really something that should be included for a review embark. If we're talking about a review key for a game, I don't agree with the studios trying to suppress the speech of the creators, especially if they're only selectively targeting creators and not the journalists that are doing the reviews. I just think that's just bad form in general, and is pretty rare in this industry. But in general, I don't have a problem with having these guidelines. If we're talking, say, like if this was like, say, for if this was part of, say, content creators were in a creator program and they had a creator program built around a game, if they were getting keys as part of that creator program, yeah, perfectly fine to have guidelines similar to this. In there's some you can argue, but in general, yeah, you want to just be respectful. You want to avoid, politics and all that stuff. That's fine, especially if it's also a sponsor thing. I think that's perfectly fine. If you're sponsoring the post, you can basically put whatever guidelines you want. It's your money, fine. But if we're talking about purely, you want a review key to review the game, okay, here's what you can and can't say. I think that's bullshit, and I think they're right to get criticism for that.
I don't think it's that big of a deal though, because like I don't think they're trying to basically say here, like, we're not looking for you to use our game to grift. Like that
Right.
The middle one, that's basically what that says.
Yeah, that
okay.
we can agree the middle one is basically targeted towards the IGNs, the Screenrants of the world, who are going to try to grift and also just straight up slander the studio by pushing their political agendas and saying that the studio is sexist and weird. Yeah, but that's the other thing. They didn't send that to the journalists. They sent that to the content creators.
Well,
so that
the content creators are usually the ones that ruin everything, though. If we're being fair.
I mean, I actually don't think that's fair, because there is a lot. There's a reason why trust in journalism is so low.
Yeah.
Like, there are a ton of really bad faith game journalists. I mean, we literally just saw an image of one, giving the game a 6 out of 10 because it lacks diversity and inclusivity. That's fucking bullshit. I don't think journalists and creators, if we're both getting review copies to review the game, should be treated by a different standard.
I agree with that completely,
because content creators can be just as ethical, often more ethical than games are. Like, I trust Skill Up a fuck ton more than I trust IGN.
Yeah. Right, but and this is not like, this is not the thing though. The problem is that these corporations and these companies still believe the old guard is what matters the most.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying, like, the content creators usually ruin it for everyone, because you're on thin ice to start with. Okay, like, a lot of these people don't really want to like work with content creators in general. So being able to get into that at the ground level is huge. And it's evolving, but like, it's still something where there is that old guard that, like, they're going to hold the content creators, they're going to have a little bit more scrutiny on what they do. I don't really like, to me, the couple, like, people are talking about First Amendment, freedom of speech. That doesn't apply here. Okay,
they're a Chinese developer also, so
not only that, but like, you are entering into an agreement in order to receive a service, you have to agree to the terms.
Yeah, you have no expectations of First Amendment protection.
Yeah, so like you're not really protected there. And I've had things like this, not necessarily this deep, but like the point of this, okay, is that they're from China and they are trying to avoid things that will cause issues in China. And that's why, especially the fourth line.
Yes, whatever. Oh, especially that one.
Especially that one. Okay.
And the last one.
Exactly. And you can tell that there. The third one is the one that I think everybody is trying to have a hard time with and whatever. But the point of it is they're trying to say, we're giving you this game to review. We want you to review the game. We don't want you to use this to talk about nudity and, fetishize these characters
or curse.
Or curse. We don't want you to swear. Like, that's a fair expectation. The feminist propaganda, they're clearly aware of what's going to happen.
Yes, they are.
So, like, it's. I don't have a huge issue with that, but what I do agree with Sadot on completely is you have to treat everybody equally. If you're gonna give this to a certain group, you have to give it to everybody.
Yeah, especially the group that is going to do all this shit.
But I'm telling you, like the old guard is still afraid of the actual traditional media, and I don't get it.
Which is actually hilarious. Like after all the L's we've seen, like you would think eventually they would start catching on. But yeah, you're still, and this is also, it should be noted, this is Game Science's first attempt at a major console release. They're pretty much just a mobile studio, so there could be some of that. They're kind of new and don't really understand it. They probably have people advising them and saying, "Hey, this is what you got to do. These are who you got to appeal to. This is what." So that the inexperience could be that as well, and they're just kind of defaulting to experts who are obviously out of touch, because 100% content creators are the future. I remember the time when you used to read game actual physical magazines to get your game information and reviews. That we're not in that time anymore. G4 is dead. Game Informer is literally dead. Like, IGN is a shell of its former self. Like, when where I went when I wanted to get a review of Black with Wukong, I went to Game Ranks, and I looked at their before you buy video.
I thought you were gonna say Sayel.
Firstly, I don't think he well, I know he didn't get a copy of Black with Wukong. So he did get a chance to review it, but I'll look for Skill Up as well. I go on YouTube. I look for content creators, and because there are certain there's obviously going to be content creators who shill or whoever, but in general, I feel like there's a more level of relatability and authenticity when I'm getting something from content creators, especially looking at the Game Ranks before you buy. The guy called Jay Family because said this.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I don't even care either. But
yeah, people are going to try to take this off the rails. But I think Jay is spot on. Yeah, in general, like, because we both have a perspective where we deal with a lot of AAA studios and we get a lot of stuff. In my experience, this is not a thing that gets sent often, but unless it's like a sponsor thing, but
right. Especially
yes, if it's a sponsor thing, you'll probably see something like this, which makes perfect sense. But for a review key, I'm looking at it as like a precedent. I don't like the precedent of trying to dictate the content when we're talking about reviews specifically. Like if we're talking, again, we're talking about something, you're giving stuff to creators in the creator program, that's whatever, or it's a sponsor post. But for review, especially when you're not holding journalists to the same standard, I have an issue with that, because I feel like that's a slippery slope. Because it's fine, like obviously it's fine. You typically when you get a review key, The only thing they'll tell you is, all right, here are the guidelines. Here's the embargo date. So this is the date where you have to. This is when you are allowed to reveal the content. They'll give you some background information, some stuff about the game, some spoilers to avoid. Those are the type of guidelines you'll get. Basically around follow your do your disclosures. Don't spoil certain things. Follow the embargo. Otherwise, they're giving you the key because they recognize that you have a respectable platform, and how to create content. So presumably they looked at your content, they understand your platform, they respect it enough to give you a key for the game. So they don't put any bullshit like this in there. They just say, here are the guidelines. Don't break embargo. Don't spoil these things. Otherwise, here's the key. Enjoy the game. So I can definitely understand people. Hello, I can definitely understand people having an issue with this, but I also think it's absolutely hilarious seeing them put specifically feminist propaganda.
Yeah, and like I said, I actually as long as it went across the board to everybody, I don't have a big issue with them asking that, okay? Because basically they just want to keep it about the game, and I think that's fair if you're providing somebody with a review code, you know what I mean? Like, hey, if you want to get a key, we expect you to review the game, focus on the game, and not focus on this outside stuff. I don't think that's unfair, but what I do agree with you on is that it should apply to everybody.
Yeah, because obviously, certain Screenrant definitely did not get that memo because they made most of the review about Hollis.
Right, and they're not saying you can't criticize the game. They're not saying you can't be critical. They're just saying we don't want you to do this as part of the review. I don't think that's unfair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like if Game Science is giving people reviews, which was a very stringent process. I was in the running, but I ended up getting rejected for a key. So I would assume they would vet who they're going, and that's why I default to all the other big studios. We didn't get when Sony sent me Spider-Man 2, they didn't have this long list of stuff about how I shouldn't talk about feminist propaganda or anything like that. It's just I think it's just a bad look. But I can understand, at least for some of that, what they're saying. If you're getting attacked, and I also heard that this was every creator didn't even get this. This might have been a response to seeing that certain outlets Screenrant were attacking the game and injecting politics into the review, saying, "Oh, it's about the game lacks diversity," and they are saying that Game Science itself is a sexist company that hates women. That they basically just made that the review, and unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of reviews. We've seen this for as long as reviews existed. Some people get access to your movie or your show or your game, and their review is going to be their review, and you just kind of live with the outcome. But in this day and age, I felt like they were kind of trying to take advantage of the content creators a bit here, because they naively thought that the journalists were going to treat them fairly, which is hilarious given what IGN did to them months before. But it is what it is. Another lesson learned: don't trust IGN. I don't know how many times they have to learn this lesson.
Yeah, I really think it just comes down to, I don't know, man. I feel like it comes down to there's something different about culture in Asia in general, China, Japan. I feel like everybody wants to think about the way that we live here, right?
Well,
Everything revolves around I guess we're Western culture, basically.
Yeah, America.
Yeah. But like it's just different in Asia. Like they're different people. They have different values. They do things differently. And I'm not saying that's always right, but like I I I can see how this would happen. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. There's as someone who, and you know this too, who's dealing with another Chinese company, NetEase. You know,
right.
you know there are significant, culture differences in how they approach different things. NetEase got themselves into similar trouble over something like this. But yeah, it is a different culture, and it's something you have to keep in mind. So I'd say overall, uh, I don't think this should. I think in general content creators should be treated with more respect, especially as games journalists continue to, show their ass. And there should be more equality there, and more studios should kind of recognize that games journalism is on the way out, and content creation is where it's at, and you're going to have a lot better reach and success if you embrace those creators more so than just giving all the special treatment to the legacy media outlets who are going to more often than not fuck you over at some point, especially if you're not pandering directly to their politics, as we saw with IGN and the Screenrant thing. As far as the culture war thing, it's annoying that Black Wukong is going to be a Hogwarts Legacy type of thing. I wish we could just have games come out and just talk about the games for their own
Yeah.
merits, and not argue with weirdos in the comments about wokeness and Sweet Baby and all this other bullshit.
Well, it's like the same. I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday when we were driving to Connecticut.
Gabe,
Assassin's Creed, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
what we're dealing with there. And I just thought back to that tweet that I had no idea so many people were responding to, asking me why I hate Japanese people.
yeah.
Like because they're racist. But anyway, it's just I think about that game and it's like, bro, okay, let's just take a second here, okay? Some people believe Yasuke was a samurai. Some people think he was something else, okay, that wasn't quite a samurai.
Yeah.
Folklore dictates he's a samurai. You know what Ivor wasn't? He wasn't fucking Odin, okay?
Yeah.
Like I hate to break it to you, Assassin's Creed is not a shot for shot remake of history, okay?
It is that.
Like I hate to break it to you, but Zeus was not in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't actually believe Leonardo da Vinci created some kind of helicopter. All right.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
That's the history you don't know, Jay. They're schooling you.
Right. So like I just feel like I don't understand. Like I feel like the fish out of water story is interesting, but like I want to know where these people were, especially with Yasuke. Like I want to know where they were when the like 5 other Japanese studios put him in other video games as
Well,
a samurai.
I know. One was Sekiro, and the main character was white, so that's why they didn't say anything.
I, I mean, like
But
it's not even just that. It's like I don't know if people know this, but Chadwick Boseman was about to play Yasuke in a movie.
yeah,
But
and they had a Yasuke anime on Netflix.
right. Like, and I
So,
think
so,
he's
so the issue is these people who get out. Yeah, the people who get outraged on social media are stupid and their followers. So they don't act. The only reason they're getting outraged over Assassin's Creed Shadows is because the grifters gave them the signal to do so. Like these people had no idea who Yasuke was before people like Grums started tweeting about it. They don't know. They don't know any history. They barely know their own history.
I
They don't
don't
know. They've never heard of Yasuke before.
there is actually a game mode in some of the newer Assassin's Creed games where you don't play any combat and you're literally just learning history. I actually think it's fine. I don't think it's a bad idea. You just have to understand that there are certain aspects of it that aren't completely true.
Yeah, in general, I would not teach someone history through video games, but that's just me in general. It can help to like kind of get your entertainment can help kind of get your feet started, get your feet wet, get you interested in learning more about the lore. Like for me, Percy Jackson, The Olympians was a really good book, and it also kind of reignited my interest in Greek and Roman mythology. Do you think?
I don't 100% understand this question.
You think it's generally because Assassin's Creed is so big, it's getting more eyes than a Netflix show? No. I think legitimately it's because rent is due. Like for sure, Assassin's Creed, played a role. And just there's general hatred of Ubisoft on the internet, and everyone is just usually looking to dunk on Ubisoft, no matter what they're doing. Like by default, like if Ubisoft announces a new game, there's going to be a bunch of people looking for a way to dunk on Ubisoft, because you'll be like, oh, okay, well, how much? $120 version? Okay, but the issue is that it's not even about size. Like these grifters have made a big deal over literally anything. Like they'll cause outrage over small movies, shows. They don't care as long as it's content. So there it's not that that Assassin's Creed is just big. It's just that it's content that they can farm to make people upset. Like that's what that comes down to. They don't care how obscure it is. They just care if it's in a narrative that they can push to their audience.
Yeah, and with Yasuke, it's like, okay, so let's just all agree he wasn't a samurai. Let's even all agree he wasn't a real person. Let's just say that, okay? There is folklore of Yasuke, okay? It is part of folklore now, and I don't really think it's a bad story to tell. I really don't. And like, if you really are that worked up about it, just go play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. I also love how they always ignore the Japanese character. That's also a protagonist and playable in a game, but it's obviously because they hate women. So she doesn't count.
I am so excited for Outlaws.
Yeah, that's coming out soon as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get our hands on that. That's going to be interesting. We'll talk about it when we get to the actually the next section. In fact, we'll get it to it because we had some interesting Xbox news, or I will say rumors, popping up this week. I don't know if you saw them, but we got Gamescom Open Night Live coming up, Mr. Shockblast.
Yeah.
The hype trailer is officially out. There you see a little Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, confirmed to be appearing in some capacity at Gamescom Open Night Live, and of course there's Black Wukong. But what do you make of these rumors, Jay? They're saying that, and we'll get to a general preview of Gamescom, but they're saying that there's going to be a big reveal this week of a former Xbox exclusive coming to PlayStation 5. We're in that cycle again. Apparently, there are a bunch of rumors from high profile insiders that this week in particular is when the next round of PlayStation of Xbox games coming to PlayStation 5 are going to be announced. So
get that money.
Get that money. So there were obviously immediately people started talking about Starfield. There's those rumors have been around for a while. There was a rumor that was going to be Forza Horizon 5. There was a rumor from this really reliable account that pretty much got everything right so far about what Xbox will be planning, that said that Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to PS5, and the current rumor is that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is actually going to be a PS5 release as well.
I don't care about like exclusivity. I like it when games are available everywhere. Like I like the idea. Like I don't mind having a PlayStation to play the games that they put out. Like I feel like if you should be able to play the game where you want to play it. You know,
for sure. Actually, Gabe, that's a great thing about Xbox. I will say, clip this. I know you're doing it, Jay. The great thing about Xbox, Gabe, is that you don't have to get an Xbox if you want to play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. If you don't have a gaming PC, you can simply get a Samsung Gaming Hub, a TV that has Samsung Gaming Hub, or you can get a Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick that has compatibility. And all you need then is a controller, a compatible controller, and a Game Pass subscription, and you can play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle or any other new Xbox release.
So, from what I understand, Shinobi deleted his tweet or his post about.
He made a post in Reset Era about the port announcement happening, and he deleted that. Apparently, the mods just in general just cleaned out that whole thread. But I'm still seeing rumors from other sources. I saw Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming weigh in, saying that he's heard some stuff about a port coming. So I think they are going to announce a port. I think if I was going to put money on it, I would say Flight Simulator.
But I'm so bad at that game. But I want to tell you, I wanted to like that so much because that was like one of my dad's favorite games growing up. Like I just remember, like, because my dad was an air traffic controller in the United States Marine Corps, and
some you should see.
I have no idea where. I just got sound out of nowhere. I'm so bad at that game. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I saw Johnny Rocker used to play that on stream a lot. Shout out to Johnny. Yeah, not my type of game. It's very much a boomer game, but it looks fun. Like, but every time I see Flight Simulator, I think of, oh, it'd be really cool if you could, like, if it was basically GTA, and then I realized I could just play GTA. Yeah. And I call it that. But I definitely think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to be coming to PlayStation. I think Xbox made their plans pretty clear. They're leaning away from the console stuff. They're leaning away from exclusivity and are kind of just focusing more on multi-platform and basically getting themselves in front of as many screens as possible, spreading that Xbox brands. They're all in on Game Pass, and I'm sure that they were looking at the Xbox console sales itself, and that played a part in their decision. They're also looking towards the future. They heavily believe in cloud gaming, and I think it definitely does make sense for them to kind of go in this direction, not focus on exclusive. Obviously it's people who care about the console warriors. Bad news for them, but I think in general, yeah, I like Microsoft positioning itself as more of a third-party publisher. Obviously, you don't want a situation where Sony has a monopoly on the market. So I still want Xbox to be strong, be able to provide cool games. I think they have a lot of potential if they can collab with Valve, get some stuff going with Steam set compatibility. But yeah, the idea that you can just buy a Fire Stick and play anything on Game Pass is just amazing. And I think that's definitely something that will appeal to a lot of people going forward.
Yeah. I just prefer Xbox in general. I love the controller. I love the ecosystem. The only thing I like more on PlayStation is like the Platinum Trophy. That's really it.
Yeah, so for me, I'm a games person. I've liked Xbox. I love my 360, but for PlayStation, I love the DualSense when it's properly utilized. I think
I hate the DualSense so much.
I always like PlayStation controllers better than Xbox controllers. I always thought they were better for me. I'm a games person, and I always just felt PlayStation just consistently just had better games, and that's ultimately usually what drives my decision making when I'm buying a new console. What are the games that are going to be on that console? And that's the reason why I chose the PS5 over the Xbox, even though the Xbox was easier to get at the time, because I was looking at what games were going to be in Xbox, and I was like, well, knowing me, I have my PS4 back catalog. The PS5 games that they announced or are teasing, I'm definitely more interested in. I'm really not particularly interested in anything Xbox is offering right here, so it just made more sense to me to go that route. But having the option to instead engage with the Xbox ecosystem through Game Pass, I think that's cool. But if they're going to go just the multi-platform route and just put stuff on PlayStation, that's fine with me too. More people have the games. Obviously, Sony is not going there. Sony's definitely softened their stance on that to a degree. They're still basically in a "fuck you" Microsoft mode, but we saw that with Lego Horizon. It's going to be on Switch. It's going to be on PC. Not going to be on Xbox.
I bet it's going to be a disaster on Switch.
Oh, probably, but we'll see. That Switch 2 needs to definitely come here. But I'm just more so glad that the console wars are finally coming to an end. Like, I'm so tired of seeing that just garbage on my timeline. I don't, especially after Xbox literally just said we're not doing the console war anymore. Like, it's just so cringe. But I think it's definitely possible we could have that sort of announcement at Gamescom. The confirmed lineup so far seems pretty cool. We got of course Call of Duty Black Ops for all you Black Ops enjoyers. Monster Hunter Wilds. Definitely looking forward to jumping into Monster Hunter there. Spark and Zero, of course, Arkham Shadow, but a game that we're both very involved in, Marvel Rivals, is having a big showing at Gamescom. They have a live stream scheduled. They told us content creators about a little something behind the scenes that they're doing. I got some other info. We're getting new heroes revealed, and I am very much excited about seeing more Marvel Rivals, getting my chance to play it again. But what else at Gamescom catches your eye, or you're hoping pops up there, Mr. Shockblast?
Parappa the Rappa.
Ooh, that's a throwback. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
Yeah. People are saying what was I gonna say? I just saw it. Wonder Woman. But I don't think we're gonna see that. I think the Game Awards. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of new stuff. Okay, This is still Gamescom after all. Okay, like they're trying to make, like, I want to put it into perspective of WWE pay-per-views. Okay, you have WrestleMania, which is the Game Awards. Okay, right. And SummerSlam is kind of like their number 2 show, and that's Summer Game Fest. Okay, so they're trying to turn Gamescom into, maybe Survivor Series, maybe the Royal Rumble. Okay, like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it one of the premier, like, quarterly moments in gaming. I don't know if it's gonna work, and I don't think that they're gonna. I feel like twice a year is pretty good for, like, the major announcement shows.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need these big quarterly things. And Travis, I agree. Royal Rumble is the best pay-per-view for sure. But as far as the way that WWE positions them, it's SummerSlam is the number 2.
And people weren't, too super keen on Summer Game Fest this year. So, Gamescom definitely has the potential to be better.
Yeah, the problem with Summer Game Fest this year, and I noticed it being there, is that it wasn't just Summer Game Fest. It was also IGN was doing something parallel, and then Ubisoft had their thing, Xbox had their thing, so it all kind of like mushed together, and it was like, man, if only they just had one big building in the same city where we could all just go at the same time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way things have trended. Now after the death of E3 and the pandemic, we saw more and more these big publishers are like, well, why am I going to spend money to promote at some other guy's show, or go build a booth at his venue, when I could just clip together 40 minutes of trailers or whatever, and just do the whole thing digitally. And and that makes sense if you're like a Sony or a big major publisher like that. But in general, yeah, I thought Summer Game Fest was a little overhated, but it did have the limitation of being in a position where it's going to have some cool stuff, and I thought it had some cool stuff, but you're also in a situation where studios are going like, well, I'm not going to show it anything at Games Fest because maybe I'm saving this. I have something for the state of play, or maybe if you're an Xbox, you're like, well, I'm not gonna blow my load at Summer Game Fest when I have my Xbox showcase coming right after that. Same for Ubisoft and some of these other places. So its position. That's why I think Gamescom's positioning kind of works out better for Summer Game Fest because there was literally some stuff that strictly was saved for Summer Game Fest from Summer Game Fest to Gamescom. Like Arkham Shadow is on there. Arkham Shadow had his story trailer at Summer Game Fest. People were hoping to see gameplay, and they said, "Well, if you want to see gameplay, you got to come back for Gamescom."
Yeah, but I feel like all these games that are right there, we saw at Summer Game Fest. So this is just a little bit more. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think we're gonna see any massive reveals. I think we're just gonna see updates on stuff we kind of already know about. Will there be a reveal or two? Sure, it's possible. Sean Wood said something about Borderlands 4. I would not be surprised if that actually did happen, given how awful things have been for the Borderlands franchise. They need to flip the narrative, especially because I don't know if you saw Randy Pitchford
crashing out on social media, blocking everybody.
Yeah, he took things a little too personal. A lot too personal.
Yeah, he started a beef with Paul Tassi.
Yeah, and like I feel like Paul Tassi is a very legit dude. He's one of the few gaming journalists I actually follow and respect.
Definitely same. Like I'm
not saying he's always right.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely disagree with Paul on stuff, but
we would love to have him on the show. By the
100%.
way,
yeah, 100%. But out of all the games journalists, I think he's literally one of the only ones who's not an insider. I think he's actually the only one who's not an insider that I actually follow and can respect, because I feel like I feel like Paul generally tries to do good work, and he's someone you can like actually have a conversation with about something, and he'll give you like a reasonable take and opinion as long as you're not being a toxic asshole about it.
Yeah, and I will say Randy Pitchford did his best to try and turn things around, make the best out of a really dumb situation that he put himself in. But
whatever.
I hope good things came out of it. But yeah, that was a really bad look for him. He was teasing Borderlands 4 though. We all know it's coming. We all know they've been working on it.
Yep.
One of my favorite franchises of all time. So I mean, will we see it at Gamescom though? I don't know. Maybe a teaser, but yeah.
I would definitely say it's too late to turn the Iron Man game into a War Machine game, but that is a good point. Technically, Jay, Electronic Arts is at Gamescom.
Yeah,
and if there was any game, and we could get into some of the superhero stuff, because it may obviously we had to make sure I told people right off the bat, Insomniac will not be there. Sony ahead of time told everyone they're not going to be at Gamescom. They're not doing it. I believe the second year in a row they're skipping. PlayStation does have that rumored showcase next month. They're also confirmed to be at the Tokyo Game Show and presenting something. So no Sony stuff at Gamescom, but I could definitely see the Wonder Woman game and the Iron Man game and the Rise of Hydra, because Rise of Hydra is confirmed to be 2025. So they're in their marketing cycle. We got that story trailer a couple months ago at the Unreal Engine showcase. So, and then we recently just got that press release announcing that PlayOn is their publisher, and that's where we got their release date, their release window of 2025. So I think out of all of them, Rise of Hydra has the best chance of showing up at Gamescom. I feel like that one would not surprise me at all. But the Wonder Woman game is rumored to be also targeting 2025. It's definitely overdue, but I could definitely see them. I could see it go either way. I feel like that's a 50-50. I think they either, because I think they have to show it at one of the next two events, unless it's like really in trouble and getting potentially delayed. Like if you're looking to get it out in 2025, you have to either, I feel like you have to either put it at Gamescom or put it at the Game Awards. And it made its debut at the Game Awards, so I could see them saving it for the Game Awards and just making a push from there. But I feel like if the game is actually on track, they definitely got to turn up the marketing sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think Gamescom is going to focus on games that are coming out in like the next 6 to 9 months. I just don't. And if we see anything get like, get announced, it's going to be like a super small tease, and it's going to be like more at the Game Awards. You know what I mean? And honestly, something like that would just be like what that Wonder Woman, like when Wonder Woman was announced. Okay, that was to drive staffing, right?
Yep.
They were trying to hire up. All right. All you saw was this like very basic zoom in through some dark light into Wonder Woman, and that was it. Nothing else. They were like saying, "Hey, this is us." Because the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that when you have these games that are under NDA, that are strict NDAs, we're not talking about the existence. It's hard to hire people, like, because you're going to put out job listings, which everybody is like eagle eye watching, and you can't say, "Oh, we're making a Wonder Woman game," in your job listing if you're not ready to talk about it. So like you're interviewing people for a game, and this, I've talked to people and they've explained they've interviewed for games that they had no idea what they were making.
Yeah, what was it? This actually was a problem reportedly with Suicide Squad. They were we heard this in the Jason Schreier article. They would hire people who were like, "Oh man, I want to work at Rocksteady. It's Rocksteady. We're the king of single player story driven games." And then they were like, "Hey, well, we're working on a live service looter shooter," and then they told them to fuck off.
Yeah, so I mean, I just don't think we're gonna get any. I feel like you should not have any expectations of major reveals or anything.
You should have all the expectations. Yes, Wonder Woman is confirmed, is being developed by Monolith, so it does have the Nemesis system.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's just one of those things, Yeah. I'm looking forward to it though, because we're gonna see updates on all these games that are getting close to launch. I think that's what we should be focused on.
And even 6 to 9 months is a pretty good window for potential reveals, because if you check the calendar, Jay, we're almost at the end of the year. So 6 to 9 months, you're getting into like June. mid 2025.
Yep. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, but like that's an Activision and Marvel issue.
We still don't know quite. Like we did see like they start relisting the Transformer games. We still don't know if they're going to go back and start putting those Marvel games up there. That's something Activision and Marvel have to work out. But I mean, I would be all for that. Obviously, also the Marvel's Capcom collection, people were asking about that, and that's always a possibility. Capcom is also in the building as well. We'll have to see. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get. Obviously, people want to shoot for the moon. I don't think we're going to get a Superman reveal. I think that's highly unlikely. But yeah, I feel like an Iron Man game. I feel like EA isn't just there to promote Dragon Age Dreadwolf, because they've been kind of doing that on their own anyway, and they don't really need that. But I could definitely see them showing off the Iron Man game, because I think the Iron Man game is targeting 2025. That's the last we heard from Jeff Grubb, because back in 2022 they were in the playtesting phase. So I think that game is further enough along where we're definitely going to see a trailer sooner rather than later.
But I also think one of the problems that we run into lately, though, is that like fans are so toxic now that companies are gun shy about like
100%.
putting out information too soon. And that's unfortunate, like they're because look at what's happening with Wonder Woman, right? They needed to get it out that it existed so they could hire up people. But now it's been like 2 or 3 years, and like it takes that long to make some of these games. And like people are like, well, where's Wonder Woman? It's gonna be dead now because you haven't told me about the Wonder Woman.
I actually think is happening the opposite problem. From what I've noticed, people have forgotten the game or don't like. I'll make a Wonder Woman update and I'll get a bunch of comments from people like, "Wait a minute, they made a Wonder Woman game."
Yeah, I feel like it's both though. You know what I mean? Like I do understand because like there's still people that like we kind of already covered this, but like they're making a Funko game. Like
yeah, I think it's valid to a degree. Like I really haven't really seen much of people complaining about it in that way. All the Wonder Woman complaints, the main Wonder Woman discourse I've seen is for people either saying, "Oh, this sounds awesome, Nemesis system, can't wait to play it," or they made a Wonder Woman game. When did this happen?
Yeah.
Or why isn't it Superman? It's going to be woke. Those are all the comments. Those are all the comments I've heard. Those are all the various degrees of comments I've heard from it so far. And
can we see her tits?
Yeah.
Oh, woke. Well,
yeah, I do think I do think the problem is that you run into also is that you don't want to completely like abandon. Like you kind of want to try to keep the game, especially when you're getting closer and closer to release. You kind of want to start getting the game, back in people's minds. Like Insomniac, I feel like did this very well. Obviously, all the people, the marketing bros complained, but I feel like Insomniac did the Spider-Man 2 thing in particular well. I mean, they had the announcement in 2021, and then they kind of just took a step back. And when they got to within a year of release, then they started drip feeding a little bit of stuff like, oh, we're going to end the year with a blog post giving you a little more info. Then it pops up in a PlayStation ad here and there, and then there's some promotional stuff out in the wild you see, and then boom, it's at the PlayStation showcase. So there's definitely a way to do it, and I feel like Wonder Woman kind of dropped the ball, because what you don't want, like when you announce a game early, is you don't want all the stories about the game to be negative. And that's what Wonder Woman unfortunately ran into, because when that happens, you have to have something else out there. Like you had the announcement, people were like, okay, cool, that sounds cool. And then you didn't hear anything. And then the next update you had, the next official statement about the game came in response to a controversy about a job posting saying they were looking for people with live product experience, making people speculate that the Wonder Woman game was going to be live service. So you had to make an official statement saying, oh, no, it's not a live service game. It's a single player game, which is very, very clearly, very clever use of the English language to kind of trick people. Yeah, it could very much not be a live service game. Just because it's a single player game doesn't mean it won't have all the live service accoutrements, such as a season pass or paid cosmetic.
I just don't understand gamers, to be honest with you, because like look at Spider-Man 2. What is like the number one thing that people are like talking about with that game right now?
DLC.
Where's the DLC? All right. And I understand that there is like God of War put out free DLC. That is probably what people expect.
Insomniac put out 3 DLC. That's technically what people are expecting from Spider-Man 2.
Right, and they charged for it.
Yeah, which I'm perfectly fine paying for.
Exactly, but like that when if they do ever announce this DLC and it is paid.
Oh yeah, what was it? I paid $70.
Right, exactly. That's what's going to happen. But like,
But
like, look at what Mortal Kombat's going through right now. Like, Mortal Kombat announced another expansion, just like they had for the first Mortal Kombat 11. It's $50. You get 6 new characters, and you get a new story as extra story as part of it. And like, people are like losing their shit over it. What, $50 more? But it's like, you're getting 6 new characters. Like,
yes, expansions cost money.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's
newsflash.
like let's put it in like Fortnite terms, okay? Well, it's a free to play game. Shut up, okay? Fortnite, like that X-Men bundle with Cyclops, Jubilee, and Colossus is like $30.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what's even more insane? The Last Laugh bundle, which came out a couple years ago, had a Joker. I think it had a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in it. That was $30 when it came out, and you also got like 1,000 V-Bucks. And we were talking about earlier, and I was like, "Oh, isn't that like in the store right now?" It's not. And I looked into like what the price was on like Aniba. The PlayStation version is $350.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, some new random cameos also. Yeah, exactly. So like, if you're paying less than $10 for each new character, I mean, come on, that's not bad. And you get a story with it. And they've been putting out free updates, seasons, every like 30 to 60 days. I think they're on like season 6.
I think the problem is that all gamers, and this is the same with every group, all gamers aren't created equally. You have some gamers usually on social media who are entitled and don't have jobs, and they expect everything to be free, so that's where usually that discourse is coming from. But then you also just in general you have people, because I think the biggest problem with gamers, you'll see it in the discourse online, is that they're uninformed to a staggering degree about the very industry that they engage with on a regular basis. They don't know any basic, they obviously have never run a business before. They don't understand any of how any of it works. All they know is that the game shows up in the game store and they go buy. They don't know anything about the process. They don't know how long it takes. They don't know how much work goes into it. They don't understand pricing. It's stupid.
I agree with this completely. I mean, although like in some cases when like the God of War DLC, obviously that doesn't apply. But like for the most part, like a lot of times when you put out free DLC, it's because you're trying to drive revenue in other places, you know?
Yeah, the idea there was that, okay, well, God of War didn't have like a big thing planned. They just had their one DLC plan, and they thought, okay, well, our strategy here is that we're just going to use this free DLC that can kind of stand on its own and use that to drive, further sales of the game. Whereas games that may have a more substantial expansion plan, like with the Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk, they'll charge something for that, because as a reflection of the amount of work that went into it. And then you'll have other studios who are kind of plan DLC, but they'll kind of put the brakes on it and wait until they see what their sales of their main game looks like before investing further resources into it. So if they say, okay, well, our sales hit this point, okay, that justifies us kind of doing a little bit more here. And I think potentially that maybe that's what happened with Gotham Knights. They had a bunch of stuff planned, and they had their first DLC already announced ahead of time, and then they looked at the sales. From what I've heard, the sales did meet the expectations, but obviously they didn't exceed them, which is what you need to do in the eyes of these executives. So it didn't justify more than a second DLC, and then they just kind of packed up and went on from there. So a lot of it is performance based, and then of course, obviously, live service games are built entirely around post-launch expansions, and that costs money to maintain. you can't just have everything for free unless your game costs, unless you have meet a certain criteria. Like Power, for example, Power can afford to have free updates because it's a $30 game that sold millions and millions of copies. So if you're a $30 game and you sell 15 million copies, yeah, you could throw out some free DLC for a while.
Spider-Man 3 is selling regardless of DLC. All right,
100%.
They do not need to put out free DLC to drive Spider-Man 3 sales.
Yeah, Spider-Man PS4. I think, what is that? Is that 30 million by now? It was definitely over 20 million. Several years ago, Spider-Man 2 crossed 11 million in less than a year. Yeah, they don't have a sales problem. Right now, Insomniac is just recovering from the hack and just trying to get everything polished and out in a way where everything is good. They want to be in a position once again where they have to rush stuff.
Yeah, Ultimate Alliance 4 not on the Switch. I did. All right, so when I was at Summer Game Fest, I talked to God, I can't remember his name, the head of Marvel Games. I forgot what his name is.
Bill Roseman?
No, his boss.
Oh, Rosen's boss.
Yeah, the literal head. I can't remember the guy's name. I followed him and everything. Anyway,
is it Jonathan Feige?
No. Hold on, let me see if I have it.
Is it Rob Roseman?
Haluk Mentes. That's his name.
Okay.
So I talked to him.
I was close.
Yeah, I talked to him. He did like a panel at Summer Game Fest, and I talked to him after, and we were just kind of talking about Marvel games and how I'm involved. Danny Koo is there as well.
Shout out to Danny.
Yeah, so we're just chatting, and I did say, one of the games I thought that was really underappreciated, and that I know, there are other reasons that it had problems, was Marvel Heroes. And I feel like if you use Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and kind of blended what that game is with what Marvel Heroes was, you have a great opportunity for a console-based game that just gives tons of characters that would do extremely well.
Oh, it would print money.
Yeah, like just imagine Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, or like you rebrand it, it's something else, but like it's the spiritual successor to Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Marvel's Avengers Heroes.
Yeah, something like that. Marvel Galaxies, you know what I mean? And you've got like this game where you're just putting out some new levels here and there, and then you're putting out new characters, and you just keep it. Well, it wasn't strange that Ultimate Alliance 2 was on the Switch, because they were the only company that paid to put it out. They published it. So yeah, they kept it for themselves. But yeah, like I just imagine like that game. Like it blows my mind that freaking DC Universe Online is still active,
Yeah.
Like, and keeping in mind that when they put out new DLC, that shit's expensive.
That's why they had the monetization on lockdown from day one, so that's basically carried them without them having really do a whole lot all these years. It's been over 10 years now.
I don't know how to check Steam. Is that on Steam?
I believe it might be.
I want to know what the last like week Steam numbers are. I don't know how to look for it.
Sure. Steam charts for DC Universe Online. Boomer J.
Yeah.
Can't do it, so I have to show them how it's done. So here's what it's doing on Steam. As you see, it is a dead game on Steam.
Yeah, but like
according to what the Twitters would say,
the all-time peak is 3,000 people. Okay.
Yep.
Like, and granted, I understand PlayStation game exclusively for many, many, many years. Okay. Actually, it looks like it's been on Steam since 2012.
It's been on Steam for a while. It's just the fact that certain games just appeal more to console.
Right.
And that's what the case was. Like,
But
I like to do this with whenever people make the Steam argument, oh, it's battle Steam, therefore, yeah, I'll do that with like games like Arkham Knight and Arkham City to kind of showcase the point that Steam charts don't determine sales. You have to, when it's on, you have to factor in the type of game and keep in mind that console for certain games is going to be much higher than Steam.
Yeah, but keep in mind that like this is a game that has been active for this long, right? And it's still putting out content to this day.
And but to be fair, this is also more players than Suicide Squad has.
I mean, barely. What's Suicide Squad looking like right now?
We'll
on Steam.
Suicide Squad.
Oof. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of crazy, the DC Universe Online. But like again, Steam is not the be all end all. I know a lot of like people like to make it out to be, but I mean,
at least it's not. I'll give it that. At least it's not as bad as Babylon's Fall or Redfall.
Yeah,
it still is ahead of those games. That, I guess that's some comfort for somebody somewhere. But yeah, Steam is not the end all be all. I definitely think Jay is onto something. I hope you continue to tell those big shots over at Marvel what's what. Did they seem receptive to the idea?
I mean, I think they loved Marvel Heroes too. You know, that was a different situation. But yeah, I mean, it seems like that. Who knows? You know, like obviously the other issue, a lot of these people don't like to take pitches like that because it opens up other legal possible roadblocks. Like I remember because like basically they don't want to run into a situation like, wait, I told you about that and now you're doing it, where's my money?
But technically you're kind of just asking them to just make a sequel to a game that's already existed. So
yeah,
I feel like that's generally applying to like an original game pitch. Like if you said, hey, Bill Roseman, you should make a Marvel game where you get to play as Doctor Strange, and it's an ensemble game where he's going on a mission with Scarlet Witch, and you get to play with both of, like, that's the sort of thing where they would shy away from a pitch because they were like, okay, well, if we make that game, then you could potentially have someone say, oh, that was my game idea. So they try to voice stuff like that. But I feel like just saying, hey, make another. If you say, hey, you should make another Marvel MMO, or you should make a DCUO type of thing, or you should make another Ultimate Alliance type of thing. I don't see how that would run into any credible legal liability. So, you know, plus they trust you, Jay. They know you're a man of the company, so you wouldn't turn on them like that.
No, just I said just put me in the put me as like an executive producer, no pay.
Like Batman Ninja, they would probably need to get Jay a producer credit on, but other than that, yeah, I feel like that was fair game. Future Revolution is rest in peace. Rest in pepperoni.
Yeah.
Rest in pepperoni, the Avengers killer.
Yeah. I do not think we're going to see Midnight Suns 2, unfortunately. Too many cowards.
Too many cowards didn't want to play the card game, and that was the end of that. That was the end of that. At least we got the one season of content, of post-launch content. But yeah, a Midnight Suns 2 seems very, very unlikely. About as unlikely as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 at this point, for two different reasons. Guardians 2 is a no-go because the Embracer Group is in shambles, and Midnight Suns 2 is a no-go because the game just didn't sell well enough, unfortunately. But it would be nice. We don't know. Now, we don't know what it did in terms of DLC, but we do know initial sales were not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Like, I understand. Like, I don't know. But like you also see people like, oh, why is it that every game you just shoot people? Well, because when we try to do other stuff,
yeah, yeah, like I made a video about about the boys potentially having a game, and someone was like, "Oh, I bet it's going to be a mobile game or a turn-based game, or or Sweet Baby Inc." You know that bullshit. Yeah, so I think the healthy thing for game developers is to just ignore a lot of those gamers. Know which gamers to listen to. Like listen to gamers like Sadot The Gamer and JayShockblast, and your cabooses, your
that is the nicest thing he's ever said about me.
Yeah, it's just the truth. It's just the truth, Jay. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of degenerate opinions out there, and we don't need the riffraff muddying the waters of the conversation. Like, you need people if you're going to listen to audience feedback, you're gonna need to try to filter out the people who don't know what they're talking about and or just going to complain about stupid stuff. You need nuanced opinions and who's fine. Like, I like the idea of, and I could have definitely made Midnight Suns a game without keeping all the turn-based stuff. There are definitely ways that could have made it better, but I generally like the idea of having a wide variety of different games, especially under like a Marvel or DC umbrella. Just have a bunch of different stuff that people, it may not appeal to you, but it could appeal to someone else. And I think that's what the great thing about gaming is right now. Like, there's so many games that can appeal to so many different people, and it's just annoying when people just get triggered whenever a new game comes out that isn't catered specifically to them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, because everybody's like, oh, it says Marvel, I should be able, this should be about me. And you know what? It isn't always about you.
That is something they're going to have to learn eventually.
Yeah, like, oh, it's just Overwatch. Well, you know what? This is the game they're making right here. I understand it says Marvel, it's got characters you like, you want to play as them in a game, but it's not that game,
Yeah, suck it up.
Yeah, so it's like
I'll tell everyone who bitches about Marvel Rivals, you don't like Marvel Rivals, go look at the many other Marvel games that are coming out that might be to your taste. Look at 1943, look at Iron Man, Blade, Black Panther. Look at any of those other games that are going to be coming out that are more your taste. Like, just because it's not your taste doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's trash. Like, that's just such an immature and ridiculous mindset to have. Like, oh, it's not. It's like someone was commenting that Gamescom. They're basically saying Gamescom is only showing bad games because Insomniac isn't going to have any of their games there. I'm like, well, that's silly. That's clearly not true. like you have to be able to think beyond your bubble of games. There are a lot of games out there that are really good that I'm sure people like that have never played before because they're stuck in their bubble. These are the same people who probably have 900 hours in Arkham Knight because they don't play any other games.
Yeah. Apparently something's going on in the NBA 2K community right now.
There's always something going on in the NBA 2K community.
I don't 100% know what it is, but I just read a comment that I was like, what? Shut the fuck up.
What's the comment, Jay?
So there's this guy named he's at Yo Stacks. He's like one of the community guys for 2K. I met him a couple times. Really chill dude. I don't know him well or anything, but he basically like tweeted, "These are the people y'all be wanting us to listen to." He's calling Mike out of his name and being racist at that. The internet is so weird. What the comment that said was, "Fuck you talking about, man. Tell Mike Chang to lower cost of builds and give us back shoe deals to get free shoes." So of course it's somebody complaining about having to spend money on anything in the game. All right. So somebody responds to him and says, "Stacks, you sold your soul glad I never watched your content coming up. And that's what I was shaking my head at. I'm like, what the fuck kind of comment is that?
Yeah.
Like,
so the 2K situation is I actually am tapped into this. I was wondering, I thought it was something new. But so I obviously the racism is, you know, a problem, and it's 2K. So there's a lot of toxicity in that community. But the thing about the cost of the builds and the shooting, it's not an issue of spending money in game. The problem that people have is that 2K specifically is designed to extract as much money as humanly possible. It's a premium game, so it's not free to play. It's $70, but if you want to, and the main draw of the game is the My Career. You create your own character, you go embark on an NBA career, you can go into the park, you can take your character, level them up, you know, get skills, you know, build them mostly however you want, and go and play against your friends, play against strangers, and, you know, 3-on-3, 1v1, 5v5 in the park, or you can play in NBA games against NBA stars. It's the highlight of the game. That's the main thing people come for every year. Problem is, you can't do that for free. It costs virtual currency to build your character. Every attribute on your character costs virtual currency in order to increase those attributes. So you want to get better shooting, no matter what it is, you need VC to do it. And unfortunately, the ways to earn VC in the game have been pretty much reduced to basically being to a point where, yeah, you can go full free to play on a build, but it'll take you literally months to do it, of no life in the game, and you also need, you know, someone to help with that, that's familiar to kind of accelerate the process. And and that's just for one build, and that build also might get patched or nerfed, so you might have just wasted your time. So obviously the way to do it is to spend money, which people have been doing for a lot of the past 2Ks. And the one way they'll do is that 2K says, well, if you get the $100 version of 2K instead of the $70 version of 2K, you start off with 100,000 VC, you know, which used to be good. 100,000 VC used to get you, when I was playing 2K20, to put this in perspective, you roughly 100,000 VC. That'll get your new My Career character from a 60 overall to an 85. It would be like roughly, it's like 100K some change. Get you from a 60 to an 85 overall, which is a great starting point. You can take that to the park. You can do right away, play with your friends on that difficulty. You can go play against other people, and you have a good time. In 2K24, that same 100K VC won't even get you to 70. And
right. So let me just say this to make things clear. Number one, I am a 2K next maker. Okay. I actually gave Sadot my code this year.
Save me a lot of money.
Yeah, I enjoy playing like career mode.
Yeah.
Like season mode.
Yeah.
So like I knew I would probably play it for like 3 or 4 days and then move on to something else. So I just decided, I knew Sadot likes the game, so he'd probably play it more. So I just gave him my code. But I mean, I do like it. I don't have the time. Yeah.
I like the game, but I 100% understand people's complaints, because if you do want to make if you want to, God forbid, you want to make multiple builds. So the actual pricing, I don't know what it's going to be on 2K25, but on last year's 2K24, if you wanted to make a new build and get them from 60 to a 99 overall, it's going to cost you about $250 worth of VC, and you can't earn that much for free in the game. You can't. It's literally impossible.
I am a 2K next maker, and I went to WWE 2K
Damn right.
Community Day 2 years in a row.
Yeah, right. He's a big shot. Oh, don't. Yeah, we're not going to get into my team. That's literally my team is even worse state. That's literally a casino, like, but a casino that's so bad it would get shut down for for being illegal. Like we're not going to get to the casino. That's my team because I don't even touch my team. That I feel like that my team is a lost cause. Don't play my team. I feel bad for my team players. I don't touch my team. I'm strictly my career. My team seemed cool, but as soon as I looked at it, I'm like, that's clearly a casino. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. I'm not playing my team. We're not doing that. It's my career is bad enough. Like so I'm fine. I'll create a couple builds and get them up to at least like an 80 something overall. Then I'll play my career, play some stuff in the park, and just kind of focus on grinding out one build and just try to take my time with that. So I definitely understand people being upset about the prices. The VC prices are outrageous. the price of builds are outrageous. They increase every year. People joke that 2K is the only game with inflation inside the game, but it is what it is. It's 2K has a monopoly on the market. There's no other basketball game. If you want to play a simulation basketball game on console or PC, you don't have another option. NBA Live died. I've heard rumors it might come back at some point, but so far Live's been skipping every year, so it's just 2K, so they can do whatever they want. So it kind of is a situation where it's like you either buy the game or you don't, like, because they're not going to change. They're not going to change the VC prices unless it starts affecting their bottom line. Like if they get to a point where they're like, oh, we're making less, we're not making $1 billion anymore. Maybe let's start adjusting. Otherwise, the prices are going to be the prices. Well, you either pay them or you don't.
Yeah, there you go, right there. That was last year at the Royal Rumble. This dude right here, BDE, is probably like the biggest creator in WWE 2K.
He looks like this guy I went to school with.
Yeah. Also, honestly, one of the coolest things ever was this year when we went and hold on. This is pretty epic. Hold on, I got this here. I'm gonna flex a little bit here.
JayShockblast, classic JFlex.
Yeah. Total JFlex incoming. Where we at? All right, here it is, right here. Number 1. Share screen.
You can do it, Jay. I believe in you, Boomer. Yeah, there it is.
Not only do I have that version right there,
The JayShockblast edition.
I also have the Unjade edition. Yeah. No, that was pretty cool.
That's actually very cool.
Where is it? This was this year's.
It'd be even cooler. It'd be even cooler if it was PlayStation.
Yeah, well, I think they had a partnership with Xbox. There I am with both titles. Oh, I wore the Celtics hat because Cornell Gunther was there, and he is a big time Heat fan. There I am with Montez Ford and his wife Bianca Belair in the background,
looking sharp.
Xavier Woods. There is Zelina Vega and Dakota Kai.
Cute.
I forgot his name.
Triple H.
not Triple H. There's Cornell right there. Cornell is like one of the big guys.
He's a tall man.
Yeah, working on the game. So we got to go. This was in Salt Lake City, Utah. We got to go see SmackDown. I got to point to the WrestleMania sign. Karrion Kross, The Miz, Roman Reigns. There's The Rock. I'm trying to do the people's eyebrow
poorly.
Uncaged Games absolutely fanboying because The Rock is out there,
as you should.
The
Rock is great.
There's Braun Breaker. Yeah, so it was cool. Drew McIntyre. You got to do the Royal Rumble last year, so yeah.
I've never been to a wrestling match in person.
I've been to a few. I was actually at the Monday Night Raw that Mick Foley won the world title for the first time. That is a very famous match. It kind of turned the tide in wrestling forever. Yeah, Drew Gulak, that's who it was. Yeah. So yeah, basically, it was taped on Saturday night, and it was showed on Monday for Monday Night Raw, and famously on WCW that night, they spoiled what was going to happen right when Raw was going to start. They said, "Oh, don't change the channel. They're going to have Mick Foley win the world title." So, of course, everybody changed the channel because they wanted to see Mick Foley win the world title. And I am right there ringside. Like I got those tickets for free. I was second row. If you ever watch the match, you'll see me waving an Irish flag right in the corner facing the cam. So yeah, I was there, and I was at WrestleMania 13, where Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Shawn Michaels for his first ever world title. So I've seen some history.
Because he's old. That's why he is an old man. But yeah, that's around the era where I cared about wrestling. So I would have loved to have gone. My era. I love Stone Cold, The Rock, Kane, Mick Foley, Booker T.
Yeah.
Sable, Trish Stratus. That was my childhood. I actually had the D-Generation X soundtrack. I would have all the wrestling music. Was huge ECW guy as well, and WCW. I was big fan of all that, but yeah, I got older and just fell out with wrestling.
I've always just enjoyed it. Like CM Punk is my favorite wrestler, so the fact that he's back is awesome. Hold on, I guess since we're talking about it, and people are actually sort of interested, this was the Royal Rumble last year, where I had to meet Seth freaking Rollins, probably the number 2 guy in wrestling today, behind Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
You got to meet Drew McIntyre.
No idea who that is.
The entire New Day. So that was awesome. Bobby Lashley. Omos, that dude is like 7'2".
I can see. Holy shit.
Yeah. There's Seth Rollins' boots. They were talking about his boots.
Forehead.
And laughing at his boots.
Man has a huge forehead.
Yeah. Look at the size difference there.
Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, this is cool. Me cheesing. That's Lexi. She runs PR she runs the WWE 2K Twitter.
It's still real to me, damn it.
And Joe Chuck, he's awesome. Everybody, like, I thought it was weird. People were like laughing at the fact that these were our seats for the those were our seats speaking of Triple H. Those were our seats for the Royal Rumble. We were in the press box. We got free food, okay? The free food was not great, but it was free. And we didn't pay to watch the show. Like, what am I going to complain about?
Well,
I got to go.
Yeah, people underestimate it's not just about the distance, it's about the quality of the environment.
Yeah. So got to go to the press conference after. Triple H, comes out. We get to listen to him. We get to see Cody Rhodes come out. Cody Rhodes. Bray Wyatt. This is like a few months before he passed away, which is insane to think about. Mommy, Rhea Ripley.
Mommy.
That's literally what they call her.
That's literally what popped into my head.
Yeah. So anyway, that I'm pressing the wrong. There we go. Anyway, there we go.
Don't hate on the seats. You gotta recognize. Like I remember I've had some. I've been to basketball games, obviously in person, and I've had some seats where I was fairly close to the action, which is great. But I had some seats where I was like in the kind of like VIP-ish area, like there was like we weren't courtside, but we had a good view of the court, and we had an area behind us with like a bar. They were serving real good food and ice cream and stuff like that. So you got to take in that stuff account when you go to live events. Also, Jay got his tickets for free. That's the part.
Yeah, that's the best part about it. Look, listen, going to the Royal Rumble was like a dream come true, man. That's my I think it was Travis that said earlier it's the best event. Like it was so cool. I loved it.
Yeah, what was, you said the free food was bad. What were they serving in the press box?
They had chicken tendies.
I mean, you can't go wrong with chicken tendies.
They were not great, but they were free.
How you mess up chicken tendies?
I mean, they were just a little dry.
Oh man. I mean, how's it even possible? Like, I feel like if they literally just went to the supermarket and grabbed some frozen chicken tendies and heat them up in the microwave,
listen, I'm not complaining. I ate for free. I'm okay with that. But
is that all they had? Chicken tendies? What else they had?
That's all. I think they might have had like hot dogs.
Oh, there you go, hot dogs. You can't.
I mean, it was basic stuff. Anyway, hot dogs. Raven going into the Hall of Fame. I don't know about that because he wasn't really in the WWE that much. I do believe he's a Hall of Famer, but I don't know how the WWE does it. So, I mean, his ECW career was Hall of Fame, but I don't know about WCW. So, anyway.
Tyson chicken tenders out of the food line.
Basically, I mean, it was San Antonio, so, you know. But yeah, it was the tendies are for Dom. I know. Yeah. So we got wrestling fans in the chat. You know what I mean?
Lame.
So
it's not real.
That girl we saw, Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio's son was with her for like the last year or two, and they just had this big angle where he like broke up with her essentially for another chick. And when she was like, "Why, Dom? Why?" It's like, because she lets me play PlayStation and she brings me chicken tendies. And that sounded pretty valid. It was tough
I mean, you can't argue with that. there's ladies there. This is free advice, ladies. Let your man play PlayStation or wherever console he's playing. Like if he's playing Xbox, you can fuck with him a little bit. But in general, let your guy have his game time.
Yeah.
You know? There are obviously limits, you know. If he's not a professional gamer, he should not be on, you know, like 8-12 hours a day. Like that's a problem. But if he comes home from work and he wants to unwind a little bit, play the PlayStation, don't fucking bother him about it, because he's going to find himself a woman that will not only let him play, but will bring him a plate of chicken tendies and maybe give him some other treats while he's playing.
Yeah,
some oral treats, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah, but that was actually part of the storyline, because Rhea Ripley was out with an injury for a while, and Liv Morgan, like, they had their clubhouse at the stadium every night where the group would always be, and she like showed up one day and brought them a PlayStation 5. These grown men with professional contracts couldn't afford a PlayStation 5, but they're always playing WWE 2K24 on the PS5.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. So that was literally part of the storyline. And she brought me tendies. But yeah, it's kind of wild.
I mean, that's the man's spitting facts. You let your guy play, bring him some food, he will be loyal.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that he's not stepping out. So
exactly, it's better that he's playing a PlayStation at home than playing the cheeks on the road.
Yeah, and as I've explained to my wife, just, yes, yelling at the game does make me play better.
It does. Jay needs every edge he can get on a lot of these games. He definitely needs the boost. It gives him super strength.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I allow Jay to go in more wrestling because it's Sunday and I'm feeling generous.
Yeah, I appreciate that, sir.
And I'm relaxed. It was nice. Yeah, he had the extra day on Friday to chill. I watched the Umbrella Academy. I finished that up. I watched a ton of anime. Great anime season as usual. I got to watch the newest episode of My Hero Academia. Deku has finally arrived and he's fighting the final boss. Cannot wait to see how
The Rock.
Yes, he's fighting Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a death match. But yeah, this is Not bad. I like the Sunday time. I'm getting used to the Sunday scheduling.
Yeah, I feel like this is good for us.
Yeah, and other people in chat point out that it's easier for them to catch the show if it's on a Sunday night rather than a Friday night.
Yeah. So, and we had a decent amount of people for a while. I mean, it might have had something to do with the Black Myth stuff, but
Yeah, we still have roughly the same concurrence right now. So it's doing pretty. It's pretty good. I think they just love they came for the Black Myth, but they stayed for the random conversations about wrestling and Jay flexing.
Yeah, that cover is so special to me. I freaking love those covers.
It's very cool.
It's very unique.
I have a similar thing. This was when I was a kid. I joined this basketball league when I first moved to my new area, and one of the perks was that they take a picture of you and they put you on the Wheaties, like an actual Wheaties box.
Yeah.
And so I think it's still on my mantelpiece, a picture of me, young Sadot in his league basketball uniform, on a box of Wheaties. That used to be a big.
I was actually in my garage yesterday, and I probably need to throw this out by now because I'm sure it's like disgusting. But I actually have the box of Wheaties with Kevin Garnett on the cover after the Celtics won in 2008.
Are there any Wheaties in it?
Oh yeah, like it's the box.
Oh yeah, you might.
It actually looks like it's in good condition, all things considered, but I have a feeling that it might be things growing inside of the box.
Oh, yeah, never open it.
Yeah. So I need to probably toss that, but it probably would have been something worth something if I had protected it or whatever.
Yeah. It's crazy to think what used to be a thing like Wheaties. That used to be a thing. I actually don't even understand why, because Wheaties was an absolute dog shit cereal.
Yeah,
it was fucking awful.
I think that was the point. You were just supposed to get your brand.
Yeah, it was literally just branding. Like, I don't understand how it even got there. Like, why not put them? Why not have athletes on, I don't know, the cover of Honey Nut Cheerios or?
Well, because I think it was the healthy aspect of it.
That's the thing. It wasn't healthy. It sucked.
Is it? I don't know.
Wheaties weren't even healthy. They just sucked. They were like a more healthy cereal was would have been like Raisin Bran or Honey Nut or Cheerios. Like Cheerios are relatively healthy. It's cereal at the end of the day. But yeah, they were definitely healthier than the Wheaties and tasted a hell of a lot better.
Well, it's all the way that they positioned it themselves on the market.
I think that's just I'd say hat tip to the marketing team, because they took absolute dog shit product and made it into an international brand where you had the biggest athletes in the world vying for the opportunity to pose on the cover of this absolutely shit tier cereal, like with no redeemable qualities. Like it was legitimately the worst cereal I've ever had.
Yeah.
Even with extra sugar, like my friend used to get the Rice Krispie cereal, and he showed me how he would eat it, because I didn't like Rice Krispies either, but he said no, the way you eat Rice Krispies is you pour it in a bowl. Then he pulled out this container of sugar, and he dumped in at least 5 spoonfuls of sugar into the Rice Krispies and mixed it up. And I was like, I mean, to be fair, it tasted good, but I'm like, that's because you're eating sugar. You're not tasting the Rice Krispies anymore. You're just eating sugar at that point. Like if you have to put extra sugar in your cereal, the cereal just sucks. Like at that point, just get Fruit Loops or one of the actual good cereals that has sugar in it already in it. Like why are you putting the extra shit in there?
Concurred.
Wheaties and Nuka-Cola. Not the Nuka-Cola. No, I never. Now, what was your favorite soda growing up, Jay?
Soda?
Yeah, I know you're a soda guy.
My still favorite soda is Diet Coke, and Dr. Pepper.
I quit the soda game years ago, but yeah, when I was a wee lad, my go-to sodas were Mountain Dew and Brisk. I love the Brisk iced tea.
Yeah.
and the Mountain Dew. I think those are my most often drank sodas. Honorable mention to the Hood sodas. These weren't sold in grocery stores, but the best soda. They were my favorite sodas. That when I moved out of the Hood, they actually had like a Hood style corner store that sold those sodas. So I was glad that they had them. So I would get like they were more like colors that with like vague flavors though. So like you had blue soda, which was kind of vaguely blueberry-ish. You had the grape, obviously. You had the yellow, which was like pineapple-y. They were off-brand, but they were only sold in the Hood, and they were better than all the mainstream stuff.
I don't drink soda as much as I used to. I say that as I have Subway right here.
Right there.
But I used to like when we lived in Florida, it would be nothing to open our fridge and to see a 24-pack of Diet Coke and Mountain Dew sitting in the fridge because my brother loves Mountain Dew. Like I would just pound through soda. I eventually, like when I bought my house, I got a water cooler, and I only drink soda. I don't buy soda for the house, so I'll only drink it if I'm out. So I do that so that if I decide, oh, I really want some Diet Coke, I have to leave the house to go get it.
Smart man.
And I don't like leaving the house, so I just try not to.
But
obviously, if I go to like Wendy's or McDonald's or something, I'll get a Diet Coke.
There you go. So I quit soda, but I wanted to have some kind of alternative because you miss the stuff. And then I found this stuff. Zevia. Pretty much all I drink. No calories. They don't have all the extra like chemicals that like a diet sodas have, sweetened with stevia. So I randomly got into this because I was just looking at through health stores and was like, oh, let me try this. It has like popular soda brand themes. So tried it out. Loved them. So that's pretty much my soda fix. Otherwise it's water and tea for me.
Yeah, Travis, I really feel like what did it for me is I stopped buying like cases of it or 2 liters of it and stopped keeping it at my house. So I'm not like, I only drink it if I leave the house, and sometimes I get the craving. I'm like, oh, I just really want a Diet Coke right now. Like there's just some things that I feel like Diet Coke goes better with,
So I tried sparkling water for a while. It didn't quite hit for me. That's why I ended up eventually going to the Zevia because I missed that. What I missed about wasn't the fizziness. What I missed was the flavor. So I needed some more flavor. And that's why I didn't really mess with sparkling water. And I love vitamin water, but they weren't the same after they got bought by Coke. Glad 50 Cent got his money, but yeah, little too much sugar for my taste. But so I finally found something that can kind of give me that good flavor and that soda pop the can, feel without all the extra chemicals and sugar. Because I got way more conscious of that because I'm like, okay, well, I don't smoke, I don't drink beer, and I was like, drinking soda is like kind of another thing where you just got like you got a jawline there. So I was like, I may have an occasional burger or or a chocolate cake or whatever, but I was like, as long as I can say I'm not smoking, drinking, or having soda, I feel like my health situation can't be too bad.
I don't, and some reasons like sparkling water and stuff like that. I don't. It's not the fizz for me, like I don't actually even like that part. I just like Diet Coke. I know,
that flavor it is elite as far as diet soda is going. No aspartame because I was getting like because I used to get the flavor, like kind of the flavored water. They have like the flavored packs you can put in and flavor up your water. They had different no calorie drinks, and then I'd see all of them have aspartame in there. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. so fortunately, I found it. I found one that didn't have it. So I've been a Zevia enjoyer for several years now. It's my go-to soda replacement. Whenever I have a soda craving, I just pop a Zevia. No, I wish they would sponsor me, save me some money, because I would gladly do it. I would gladly forego money in exchange for just free Zevia.
When Dr. Pepper cream soda came out, I will say we did have a few 12 packs in the fridge because that is delightful.
I actually have a creamy root beer flavor.
Nice.
Yeah. And a Dr. Pepper flavor.
Any more info on what Rocksteady is doing? Yeah, they finishing out the string.
Well, they're getting Suicide Squad done. They're wrapping that up after 4 seasons. Currently, according to what we got from Jason Schreier, most of Rocksteady is helping Avalanche work on a director's cut of Hogwarts Legacy. They're working as a support studio, and then the management are apparently pitching Rocksteady's next game, which is supposed to be a single player game. We don't have specifics about what it is, but it is supposed to be single player. There was a rumor that is centered around the Justice League, but the rest of the studio is basically there's just a small support team maintaining Suicide Squad and making sure the remaining content on the roadmap gets out before they, pull the plug.
Basically,
Rocksteady. Yeah, Rockstar, we know, is all focused on GTA 6. Rocksteady, yes, still wasn't shut down, so we're glad. But yeah, they're working on other stuff now. Hopefully, their next game goes a lot better than this one did. This one definitely got away from them, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy Director's Cut and looking forward to Rocksteady's next game. I know Suicide Squad was disappointment to a lot of people, but after finding out what happened behind the scenes, it's definitely made me more receptive to Rocksteady's next game, because that shouldn't be an issue this time around. Jamie and Septon are gone. It's supposed to be single player, so should be fine. I am concerned if they're going to have the same person who came up with that Mrs. Freeze design working on the next game. That's a concern for me. that's the only thing. That's legitimately the first time I'm like really was concerned. Like the Harley Quinn stuff they were doing was kind of annoying and like eyebrow raising, but yeah, the Mrs. Freeze situation was just like, is Rocksteady going to be okay?
Yeah. So before we go, I had a very unfortunate situation. This is the danger in pre-ordering things in advance.
Yes, never pre-order.
This is the latest hot toy that showed up.
Is that the Jonathan Majors hot toy?
It is a Jonathan Majors hot toy. I haven't opened it yet, but
I mean, that's a collector's item now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, the Cara Dune stuff that came out after they dropped her, it was worth a lot. But
definitely.
Yeah, but
maybe the Jonathan Majors stuff will be worth something.
I'm probably gonna open it and just display it and have it, but I don't know. I actually, I am gonna do it. We've got some things working themselves out, so yeah, I'll keep it. I really like Jonathan Majors. I don't know what happened, but I don't think it was
great actor
all on him. So
you're curious about 100 Stars. 100 Star, Jamie Septon's, of course, their new studio that they started. Their goal is to put out AAA quality games while keeping the roster of devs to 100 or less, to avoid kind of the AAA bloat. They made a whole big thing about how they want to get away from being under a big corporation but reportedly their first game under 100 stars is being financed by Microsoft. So hopefully it's not that dog shit puzzle game that they were trying to work on before Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But that's all we know so far. I'll if I find out anything, actually, yeah, I might as well check up on 100 star, see what they're doing. Yeah, because I was looking into the boys because I saw a little something about the potential boys video game. What would your boys video game be, Jay? Ideally, if you want,
it'd be interesting because, like, what perspective do you want to play as? Do you want to play as the boys, or do you want to play as the 7? You know what I mean?
And there was a lot of people on my video who offering different perspectives on the games they would make, and I feel like I'm leaning more towards a boys game where, like, it was funny. I liked Kojima's idea when he was talking about the reason why he first stopped watching The Boys is because he was working on a project that was very similar, where the premise was a group of detectives working behind the scenes to bring down a group of legendary heroes. I think that, from that perspective could be cool, but for a game based on The Boys, I think what I would prefer is kind of like this story driven action RPG, like an actual RPG with a really good action where you create your own character. You can give them powers or make them non-power and give them special skills or whatever, and customize them how you want. And you could basically choose: do you want to try to do your hero thing and be part of the 7 and be involved in that story arc, or do you want to get in with the boys and work with them to help bring down Homelander and everybody?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I feel like no matter what, like if they did do, if they did actually do, oh god,
that's annoying. So someone actually in the comment pitched this idea of having a game similar to World War II, 1943, Rise of Hydra, but instead of Captain America and Black Panther, it's Soldier Boy and Black Noir.
Well,
And
what I was gonna say was,
sorry.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, Soldier Boy game. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
No, what I was gonna say was, probably a little distracted. If they did do it like the boys, where you're with the boys and you're working to take down the 7, I feel like you have to have a level where you play as Homelander anyway, and it's got to be like remember like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. There was that one level where you like no, I forgot what it's called. It's like no something, and basically you were the bad guys, and you like no Russian. Yeah, exactly. You have to have a level like no Russian, where you're going into the airport and you're just murdering everybody, and you have to play that as Homelander.
Oh yeah,
so like no matter what, you have to have at least that one level.
Yeah, and they have definitely parts in the story, plenty of where you could do that. I thought one of the cooler ones was when Homelander was sent overseas to stop those terrorists, and he just goes on the absolute rampage. And yeah, but yeah, you definitely can't have I feel like you definitely can't have a game with the boys where you're not playing Homelander for at least a little bit.
But I don't know how you do a whole game around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Entire Homelander game wouldn't work I don't think in universe, but yeah, like having one level where you're Homelander, definitely, or a couple levels definitely makes more sense than that just having a whole playable game, because he's not like Superman. He's not like an actual hero. He's the villain of the story, right. and he's stronger than everyone. So I mean, you could definitely make it like you could definitely make a game like that where you're playing from Homelander's perspective, but I think it would. I
don't think it would really work. You basically make it open world murder fest, which could work, I guess. But
yeah, there's appeal to that. Like they're definitely. It could be like I was thinking like kind of an invincible thing, kind of like a infamous type of deal, or something similar where you're just kind of open world. You can cause collateral damage. It would basically be like GTA, but I feel like an open world game where you're just murdering people is basically like a GTA mod and would get kind of stale. So you definitely need some kind of story component, a compelling story component to it, to make that part interesting. Because Homelander, apart from literally a handful of characters in history, no one else can beat him. like so it really because people always complain about oh, you can't make a Superman game because he's too strong. But in the case of Homelander, that would actually be true, because relative to the rest of his world, Homelander is too strong. It'd be similar to like a Watchmen game where you're playing as Dr. Manhattan. Like, yeah, it'd be cool for a little while, but he's so hilariously stronger than everyone that it kind of would definitely just defeat the excitement and make it kind of like But whereas with Superman, like, he actually has compelling stories and villains, and a lot of villains that could actually give him a challenge, and in a lot of ways where you can make that interesting, despite him being much stronger than Homelander.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think they should make after? You think, of course, you think they should make a Batman? Yeah, I don't think they should make a Batman game. I think they should make anything except the Batman game. I think a Batman game would be such a cop out at this point. I like the idea. I like the rumor. I don't know if they're actually going to do it, but I think a single player Justice League game would be cool, where you're just kind of multiple characters, you Batman and Superman. But I think stick to single player for sure, but build it around a hero that people aren't expecting necessarily, but that would still be in demand. Like, obviously, Superman is the obvious choice. Everyone's been asking for literally years for Rocksteady to make a Superman game. But I would similarly love a game about the Flash, a game about Green Arrow. If you wanted to go nuts and go Justice League Dark, you want to go to Teen Titans. I think that would be really, really cool. Teen Titans game. But don't make a fucking Batman game, please. I'm so fucking tired of Batman games. Jesus, what the
Yeah, this guy is a weirdo.
Wow, absolute flawless behavior.
Yeah.
Teen Titans game. The Teen Titans game would go crazy. From Robin's POV. And don't Guardians of the Galaxy it. Make everyone playable. Like everyone playable. Make it more like closer to Gotham Knights, in that style. Let's not make it. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but I definitely understand why people were hesitant, because a game entirely from Star-Lord's perspective, where you're mainly Star-Lord. A Teen Titans game should you should be able to pick whoever you want and play as the different characters. 100%. Yeah, but Batman, yeah, I'm as long as it's not Batman.
Yeah, because those people don't deserve it.
Yeah. I if they want to do, I'll take Catwoman. I just don't want Batman. We had enough Batman games. We've had enough. We've had enough for a while. We're literally getting another Batman game this year. I'm done with the Batman. Like, let's give some other DC characters a chance. So I think we'll wrap it up. We're past the 2-hour mark. Appreciate everyone hanging out. We'll work on get the guest at some point. I think we can probably. I think I might be able to swing some. I have some ideas. But yeah, next week we'll have a wrap up talking about what happened at Gamescom. Hopefully, all went well. We got the release of Black Wukong. The release of Star Wars Outlaws is coming up soon, so we'll probably talk a little bit about that. I'll look forward to talking about that with you all, and hopefully nothing goes horribly wrong next week in the world, and we can have another nice fun. We'll catch y'all next Sunday. That's the usual time. Appreciate everyone hanging out. To the loser that keeps trying to spam JayShockblast. Sorry that your stepdad is black. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. You're gonna
the story is actually so much worse than you think. It is this is like the saddest human being on the planet. Like shows up out of nowhere every like few months, does this nonstop, and like gets nothing. It's pretty pathetic. And they've been doing it for years.
Like this is definitely not someone who's married or has ever had sex.
Yeah. They're literally the dumbest human beings alive. It's pretty hilarious. It doesn't even bother me. It's like just stupid.
This is actual stereotype incel behavior.
It really is. And we've tried everything. We've just ignored it. We've like gone guns blazing. Now I just laugh at it because I just know there's this fucking pathetic loser that spends all their time doing this to like not just me, like obviously others too, and it's just sad. It's so I feel for him. I actually offered to get him some counseling. Like I said, I will pay to get you some counseling, but didn't take me on. I have like, it's weird because like he'll disappear for a while and I have these suspicions that he like goes to jail or like a mental institution and has the internet taken away. But
that's definitely a possibility.
We'll figure it out at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, or he'll just stop posting altogether, and we'll find out it's because he finally took a bath with a toaster. So yeah. whatever comes first.
Yeah, it's honestly it's pathetic. A very pathetic human being. Like very pathetic.
Like doing this this is your Sunday evening. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
Here's yeah. Same. So we'll catch y'all next week. I'm sure this individual will be too busy crying in their stepdad's basement, screaming for chicken tendies. I'm Sadot The Gamer.
I am JayShockblast.
Zip it up and zip it out. Peace.